And now, our feature presentation.
Okay, well, we've heard the phrase, don't go there, it's a tough neighborhood. The Opalocka Don't go there, it's a tough neighborhood. The Opalocka Community Development Corporation is working really hard to actually change that stigma. The Triangle, now it's got a new name, will be transformed into a place. What was it that you saw that you really wanted to change?
Well, it's just not me, but our board of directors actually asked us to focus on this particular neighborhood once we received this grant from HUD of $20 million to stabilize the neighborhood, which was to help in the foreclosure crisis. Yes. It's a very small neighborhood. It's a neighborhood that has been neglected. It's a neighborhood where lots of people have moved out of, so it's a real opportunity to go in to purchase properties at a low rate and to redevelop those properties and bring new residents in.
Now, I know you've been working actually for much longer than just this project on really revamping the community. You've been working very hard on that, and it was this big grant, as you said, that's making this possible. So with this grant, what exactly is the project that you broke ground on just in December?
Opalocka, Hialeah is the place to go. It's more than just a market, it's a great big show. Opalocka, Hialeah.
Food stamp fraud. Police and the Fed sweep into a South Florida flea market and make dozens of arrests. They say the scheme reached thousands of people and was worth millions of dollars. CBS 4's Peter Dench is live for us in Opalocka with more on what the Feds say was happening for years. Peter?
Elliot, the U.S. Attorney here in Miami says it's believed thousands of people use their food stamp cards to illegally receive cash instead of food. But the focus today was on the vendors who allegedly allowed this to happen during this Operation Stampede, receiving fees of at least 20%.
This is the largest food stamp fraud takedown in U.S. history.
U.S. Attorney Wilfredo Ferrer says 22 vendors are accused of illegally receiving more than $13 million from the U.S. government.
And I ain't with me, no way, no way.
This shit get dangerous, man.
No way. They used to count me out. All I ever heard was out. I ain't think I was
this right here, the back street.
I thought you about to bust to you.
Across the pipe.
Wasn't there some school over there we went by before?
Across the pipe. It's a little school over there. My nigga right here live right here. Named Saul. Mama live there. This little park right here, they done cut it all up and shit. This little park right here called Gangsta Park. And I got high almost every night on that bench right there. Me and a whole bunch of niggas. Yeah. Cause only gangsters used only gangsters used to hang in there. That's why we called it that. And I ain't make that name. That name was named by the OGs. That's just what it was called. Now this one for old right here. This the block that I live on.
Yeah, boy.
That's Miss Mary house. A lot of football games on this street. They done did it nice.
You look a little different, man.
But this shit gets dangerous. All this shit look nice. It's the niggas that live in this shit. My old house, the only house on the block that's done nasty.
Right here. That's the old crib. I remember that house. Had a lot of fun in there, though.
Got drunk,
Remember, was in the backyard, man. Smoked that, man.
My nigga who lived here named Ant, that nigga had a sniper. Motherfucking sniper, nigga. So the fuck that is right there. You don't know who I am, though. Unless I get out and speak to him. I know both. I'm finna my niggas, bro. I should've stopped and said something.
He can't see you in that car like that. All he sees is tent windows.
Weeks later, police in Opalocka, a suburb of Miami, responded to emergency calls from residents of an apartment complex.
It was an apartment complex that had recently been taken under siege, for lack of a better term, by the Yahwehs.
Tenants who lived there called it the Dirt Road Apartments. A low-income housing project. Some local residents considered it an eyesore. Many were delighted when the Yahweh leader Hulon Mitchell bought the property. Dirt Road residents were not.
Unfortunately for the residents, their idea of taking the building over was to actually move the residents out, and sometimes, according to the residents, that was by force, where the Yahwehs would actually come into their apartments and remove furniture and belongings while the people objected but had no real way to stop these individuals.
The Yahweh's strong-arm eviction efforts made the TV news. One resident, Anthony Brown, was particularly outspoken.
I'm gonna stay here until I get eviction notice. I don't care what they say. I do, because they ain't going in. Just simple as that.
He cursed the Yahweh's leader, Hulon Mitchell. Investigators knew that Mitchell didn't tolerate public criticism. Witnesses told police that tensions at the apartments continued after night fell. That evening, violence erupted and 2 men were killed.
Now at 6, 1 year since a dramatic gold heist that started in Miami and ended in North Carolina, the FBI has made its first arrest in the case. We just spoke with the suspect's sister-in-law. CBS 4's Peter Dench is live in Opalocka with what she had to say. Peter.
Elliot, she told me she's stunned. She says the arrest is something she never would have expected of the father of 2, who is a truck driver. We spoke to her here at the home where he was busted and where the FBI spent most of the day collecting evidence.
If all this were true, I don't see how he could be living here, owning the type of vehicle he owns. You know, 2 and 2 doesn't add up.
Millie Naite cannot believe her 46-year-old brother-in-law, Adalberto Perez, was tied to the theft of nearly $5 million worth of gold bars from a tractor trailer in Wilson County, North Carolina, a year ago. What are they telling you about your brother-in-law?
They haven't told us anything yet.
Does it surprise you to hear what happened? The FBI says a tractor trailer from Miami was headed to Boston when at least 2 armed males stopped it. What surprises you about this?
The city of Opalocka is known for its Baghdad-named streets, a good bit of violent crime, and history of scandal. Now, as CBS 4's Gary Nelson reports, Opalocka is looking at a financial crisis that could lead to a state takeover.
And the current financial situation.
By speakerphone, Opalocka Brass briefed the governor's staff on the town's financial situation. And as the banner headline says, the news is not good.
We're still gathering information as best as possible.
New city manager Steve Shiver, a former county manager, discovered a town that's basically busted. Its phones recently turned off briefly because the bill wasn't paid. For 3 months, workers didn't get their benefits. A contractor renovating the old city hall walked off over unpaid bills. The city has $4 million in checks written but not in the mail because they would bounce. The mayor blames prior managers who kept commissioners in the dark.
We didn't feel that we were fully informed as to what was going on.
What Opalocka means to me is home, a place that I call and believe is and always will be my home. It's a community that's made up of mostly minority, mostly African Americans and Latinos. Opalocka is a special place, and it's a special place because of its people, as well as its location, as well as its architecture.
I've been on the board for the Opalocka Community Development since its inception.